Diane, I'm listening to a podcast, Black Lodge Trivia Night. I've never heard so many game aspirations in my life. Okay.
Proceed. 5.
So it was.
Sorry. Okay, we're just doing it.
We're just, yeah. So it was at that
5,
point.
4.
Fuck you. All right. It's Art's show tonight, so he needs to do this whole lead-in thing.
All right. Welcome to Black Lodge Trivia Night.
5,
I'm Art.
4.
God damn it. God damn it. How you guys doing? Little.
Can't hear you. Hey, your
4.
mic's off.
Is it really?
Art,
Test.
your mic's off.
Test.
Art.
Somebody's fucking with me because I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at that.
Oh, good.
Because that's
Good.
something I do all the time. So
Yes, it is. And that's why we love you. Got to get
All
the beet
right.
juice flowing.
Welcome to Black Lodge Trivia Night. I am Art. I'm here tonight with
5,
both Matt
4.
and Patrick. How are you guys doing?
Good. Matt's playing stone-faced over there. Or he froze his camera.
Or did
This
he
is great.
freeze?
Have you guys
Oh,
seen
no.
the skits where it's like they're doing that to their bosses, but the guy has his ceiling fan running in the background? They're like, Jared, your fan is on, or whatever.
That's incredible.
5, 4.
Wow. So this is today's episode, apparently.
This is the energy
we're coming
us
in with.
counting down from 5.
And I feel like we nailed it. I think we got
This
it.
is a wrap, everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously we are back with another session of our Mythras Imperative Cold War spy game. It's been a few weeks. We had some distraction for the last couple of weeks, going into the wonderful world of Symbaroum, but we're going to try and,
Just edged you guys for like a whole month or longer.
my hope is that I'm not going to like intentionally speed through this, but there's good stuff on the horizon, and I'd like to. This one, we've had a good time with it, and I want to see where the story goes. But this is not meant to be a 42-part saga. So,
Well, you just crashed the plane today, and
TPK.
as on our way to Finland, and just that's it.
Yeah, just Buddy Holly it, and then we're out. Sorry, Big Bopper. So,
Wow.
I know that was pretty rough. The day the music died. We
Did
usually
you drive your
just-
Chevy to the levee?
I don't get it. No.
5.
Right. We usually start with a little bit of trivia. Are you guys ready for?
Do you have a clipboard? Are you like official now? Like,
No, this is
That's
a
a notepad.
digital tablet.
oh yeah.
And this is my system so that I never have to, I can, every single question I've asked since I got this is written down here. So I'm hoping it helps me not repeat.
Okay.
Having said that, this question might be a repeat because it might be from before I got this
Fabulous.
and I'm old. So, okay, you ready?
Always.
And tell me if this is a repeat, because
Yeah.
I truly can't remember. Leland Palmer,
Yes.
played by the talented actor Ray Wise. He originally read for another character, though, during the audition process. Do you know which character he originally read for?
Laura.
Oh, wait, final answers? We got one for Laura.
He read for Coop.
Did he?
I'm just being confident. I have
We'll
no
go-
idea. If it's
we'll go
not
with-
Laura, then it's Coop or
We'll go with,
or Hawk.
we'll go with the doctor. I'll say the doctor. I forget his name.
Boy holding creamed corn.
Perfect.
Sorry, gentlemen, that part's reserved for.
Doorknob.
Yes. So now I didn't know if you meant Coop,
Josie.
but not Josie, but just Josie and the doorknob.
Perfect.
Fascinating. This speaks to me.
Yeah. No, he originally read for the part of Sheriff Truman.
I was gonna say, okay, I could.
And
yeah.
Matt, I wasn't sure if you meant Coop or if you
No,
meant Truman.
I was gonna say Sheriff Coop to start, and that's like, well, that's not what I meant. And then I thought it's one of those two. But yeah, I could see.
Okay.
It. I could see him being Sheriff Truman more than Coop, but
Yeah, definitely. And then I wasn't sure if I had done this question before, so I had a backup ready to go. And this is a real quick hit. It's not that interesting. For a second backup question, what kind of motorcycle does James Hurley ride?
an Indian.
Yeah, I was going to say an Indian.
Is that a type of Harley Davidson?
No.
It's
No,
an
it's not,
Indian.
right? It's its own
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
No, he drives a Harley Davidson, but it's an Electra Glide, which I don't know anything about motorcycles, but it
Okay.
is a Harley Davidson. Although an
Okay.
Indian would have been cooler, which is probably why it's not the case.
It is James we're talking about. Good point.
Fair.
I can't
All
break
right.
it.
Nice.
Okay.
Good trivia, Art. Good
There we
trivia.
go.
You've
So-
only asked each of those 3 times before.
Did the first one sound familiar at all?
No, that one.
Okay, good. I was a little worried about that one because I wasn't sure. And I got to say, if I have asked it before and then you still got it wrong, I feel like we might need beet juice all around.
Yeah, well, that's probably accurate.
We're all
Probably
getting
fair
there.
anyway. Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, we're back with our Mythras Imperative Cold War spy game. The last time we were here, we sort of wrapped up the London portion of the story. You were in C's office, sort of getting a debrief. You had uncovered a, whoops, did that just, you had uncovered a hidden agent in London who had compromised the GCHQ guy, Albie Graham. You also sort of put Albie Graham into a bit of a state, but you got the information that you needed. You figured out that Tiana Spencer was actually a Russian agent who had been sent to Honeypot or Honey Trap, I'm not sure which, Albie Graham. And you started giving the debrief to C and to George Murray. And they're like, okay, look, here's the deal. Parts of this mission were touch and go. You're going to be going to Finland next, and it's going to be a little trickier. You got to be more careful. But George spoke up for you. He said you were still, here's George, you were still the 2 for the job. And so you are heading to Finland on a sort of noon flight. A couple of things that it's been a while, so there's no reason why you'd remember this. In the very first session, when you were doing the introduction, the meetings, the setup of the story, one of the details you were told by C was that GCHQ lost an agent in Finland. The reason why C was worried about it, the Circus was worried about it, is because sometimes when they do clandestine operations that need funding, they use banks in Helsinki. And so C's initial concern is like, what's GHQ investigating? Are they looking at us? I don't want them digging into our financial resources that we use outside of the country because we still need it. National security depends on it. So that was sort of the concern he mentioned, is like, I don't know why they're there, but we have stuff there, and I want to make sure that's not why they're there. So again, they sent who did they send? They sent somebody to Finland, and his name was Elliot Taylor. Elliot Taylor was killed while in Finland. He was hit by a car while on a snowy road near sort of a rural airport. And not sure what he was, again, what you found out was that GCHQ sent him there to meet with a pilot named Captain Lanson. You don't know why. You know that Albie Graham had told that information to Tiana, so the Russians knew that he was going to Finland. That might have escalated his random hit and run into something potentially more. And I think it's sort of in broad strokes that covers a few of the details that have come up over the course of this, but it's been a while for some of them, like specifically Circus financing operations through banks in Finland. So this was sort of a jumbled recap. So is there any questions that you guys have, things that you're like, wait a minute, didn't we, or before we get going?
I think the most important thing here, like, I understand why we're now going to put a bow on what happened to our agent.
So your task is to go to Finland and collect the body of Elliot Taylor and bring him back to England. GCHQ wanted to do it.
Right.
But because it was such a
But we don't have
mess.
any other task other than going to get him?
Well, it depends. Your main task for going is to, well, no, and to find out what happened, like why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the general thing is you're there to bring him home.
I mean, realistically, this should be really easy. We just go to the local police department, we sign some papers, and they tell us that he got hit by a moose, and, they did all they could, and we pack them up, put them on ice, and come back. Like,
Yes.
easy in, easy out.
Right. So it seems like the odds of it being about the financing of clandestine missions is probably not the case. But you do know that the Russians were aware of his presence in Finland, that he was killed in a mysterious way, that he was meant to meet with a commercial airline pilot named Captain Lanson. And you're not sure what else exactly is going on.
Okay. Sounds good.
So yeah, with that, was there anything you guys wanted to do in England before you hopped on a flight?
Well, we have to park the car at the airport.
That is true. And I just want to, the people who are listening, for some reason my voice is starting to go a little bit, so through the course of the night I might start getting more hoarse or sucking on cough drops or
sucking a horse.
yeah. So just want to apologize in advance. Anyway.
Captain Lanzig?
Lanson, Lansen. And then one other...
Patrick, come borrow a pen.
Yeah. Here you go.
Thanks, love.
Yeah. Right. So, did you use Ryan Reynolds as Elliot?
No.
Because it looks like Ryan Reynolds. Sort of.
When's the last time you saw Ryan Reynolds?
Kind of looks like Ryan Reynolds. Like a young Ryan Reynolds.
All right,
Are you still looking for a pen? I handed you a pen. Just write it in chat.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Done.
Lansing. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Lansing. Yep. Boils, as in boils. Yeah. I think this might become a thing. Testiculus Lance. Yes. Fallen.
All right. I'll
All right.
I'm distracting everybody.
Yes. All right. So was there anything you guys wanted to do? And so part of the meeting, C reminded you, like, be careful in Finland. You won't have protections you might have here in England. You're going to be...
Well, shit, we almost got blown up at a police precinct in London. Like, they're just going to gun us down on the airport, on the runway. Like, it's going to be great. Justice T-spotting. Everybody take a shot.
That's right. But if there's nothing you want to do, we can just proceed and get on the plane.
No,
and see
I
what
think
happens.
we can go to Finland. I don't...
What do we eat on the... Or is it a commercial flight? Is it a private flight?
It's commercial.
Okay.
Are we taking a commercial flight? We're not doing like a... Okay.
We flying business class or economy?
Yeah, we can say it's that kind of stuff. Or do you want it to be like a military? I'm trying to think of how you would get guns. I figured you probably want to bring some kit, so to speak. So maybe it's like you hop on a military craft. The way people jump on like C-130s.
Do we need you tell us. I mean, I guess let's assume we're back in the office. Like, do we need cover going in, or are we flying over with the civvies?
So, C, love. What's our drop? How are we gonna be dropped? How are we gonna be deployed?
And they're like, well, you're going in. Your cover is that you are... One of you has to be a sort of a direct relative of Elliot Taylor. But again, Elliot Taylor was not going by that name. He was going by... This is something I'm having trouble... It was a cover name, like as Mallerby or something, that was confusingly spelled. So one of you, in order to receive the body, one of you has to go in undercover as a relative.
Mrs. Mallard.
I was about to say, right, Veronica, you're going to be his stepsister.
You may refer to me as Mrs. Mallard.
Right, quack, quack, ducky.
And again, it was a Mallerby. Is that you're going in as his wife? Is that what you're trying to? Or just
Yes.
Mrs. Okay.
Yes.
So
I wrote
yeah, the
down
spelling...
Mallard as it like I was like, oh, I'll make a joke about Mallard, and then I wrote down Mallard. Mallerby.
It was like Mallerby. So it had like this kind of spelling, which back in the initial meeting, you're like, that's a dumb cover name because it's an easy one to misspell or mispronounce. You actually have to like remember Mallard would have
Mallerby.
made more sense.
Mallaby. What? Are we Australian all of a sudden? Oh, we got to go find a Mallaby. Watch the wombats and the Mallabies.
A wallaby ate my baby. All right,
And a dingo fucked my
I
stepsister.
will. She'll like. We'll need to swing by my love. By my flat love.
Right, which lover today, love?
Hopefully he's still not there. Flashing back to original night of the like young chap from Oxford. Jeez, I cannot fucking talk tonight. The young buck from Oxford that she had left in the middle of the night.
That's right, from night one.
From night one.
Literally 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
Right. Shall I drive then?
So we are going in with covers, which means we don't want. But this is also the 60s. No one gives a fuck if I bring a gun on this plane.
Well, that's the thing. Like I'm imagining like obviously the security that we go through today is not even remotely close to like if you stick something in your stored luggage or whatever.
Yeah. This is where you superimpose smoking or non-smoking tickets, sir.
Right. And I'm willing to
Smoking,
hand
please.
wave. Like if you want to bring stuff like that, we'll hand wave how you get there, not the parking
Right.
at the gate.
I
But
think, the only thing that runs right in this damn country is the Royal Mail. We're going to mail ourselves a bunch of handguns through the mail, Royal Mail, direct to Helsinki, courtesy of stepsister Veronica here.
Yeah, let's go with that.
okay. So yeah, you put yourself into diplomatic
when he
pouches.
starts arranging that, I'm going to go use a phone call.
Okay.
I'm calling the airline.
Okay.
This is great. This is so off the rails already.
And like you're in the other room, like
I'm like counting change out for stamps right now.
right. Did you
Yeah.
find 2 boxes big enough? I'd rather not fly over with you. Hello? I would like to book a first class ticket, please.
Yes, of course. Destination and time of departure.
Rural airfield. In Finland, please.
Yes, we have flights. The one you're tasked with was leaving at noon from Heathrow.
Yes. The Heathrow flight to Finland at noon. First class ticket. And I will be checking a large box.
Of course, ma'am. We can have that ready to go.
You hear from the other room, see, you got any stamps in your office? Right, I think I need 7, make it 10, even dozen. And he's like weighing up his Walter PPK or whatever. Like, better make it an even dozen.
I think I lost the thread a little bit. Okay.
Wait, to clarify, you are shipping yourself, right, Patrick?
No, I'm shipping my gun.
Oh, I thought you were putting yourself in a box. That's why I was making the joke about 2 boxes and getting a first
I'm
class.
shipping my gun.
I thought you were going to put yourself in a box.
No, I'm wondering why you're only buying 1 ticket on the plane.
Oh, well, I'm still only buying 1 ticket. I'm not your fucking keeper.
Actually, all
I
this is already,
really thought you were shipping yourself.
No, I'm
all
not.
of this. All of this is
What are
actually
we, fucking
like,
Wallace and Gromit? Like,
the circus has arranged for
Jeez.
your tickets, or however you're going to get there. The circus has made those arrangements. And it doesn't really matter how you get there, obviously.
Art, this is the kind of shit
this is
you
what
asked.
Pete-
You
this is
said,
what
are
the-
we going over in a plane or are we going over on a military flight? Well, guess
I've
what?
decided
We're
to-
finding out.
I've decided to book passage on a boat.
All right. So, in broad scrotes, Matt, you're going as the widow?
Mrs. Malaby.
Okay, and
And
Patrick.
that's spelled MAHLHLHERHERBIEY.
Perfect, nailed it. And Patrick, are you going as
Mr. Malaby.
the deceased?
He took my name after the death.
Right, I've decided to go as.
Hello, welcome to Black Lodge Trivia Night. I'm Art.
4, I've decided to go with Wallace Thimblebrook.
Okay, nice.
I would like to go by my flat.
I'm his gardener.
He's my pool boy.
Right.
Very nice. Moving quickly. All right. So you get on.
I would like to go by my flat.
Oh, that's right. Yes. I thought we were already there, and that's where you're making the phone call.
Oh, I thought we were.
She's using C's phone.
Yeah, I was. I thought. Well, he was asking for stamps
Okay,
to mail myself.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Nice. Okay, so you head back to your flat. Jago, are you with her, or do you wait in the car, or are you trying to get some separation here?
No, I think I'll drive unless he needs to go by himself. She needs to go by herself.
You're driving me to my flat, right?
Yeah. That's the arrangement. That's how we go.
Come on up. Are you coming in?
Yeah, I'll come. And I'll be like I'll be rummaging, like you're doing something. I'm like rummaging in your closet, like pulling luggage down.
Yeah, but I'm in the closet. Wait, is anyone in there when we go in?
Oh God,
no,
please.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I gave him the opportunity. Didn't have to be.
Yes, buxom boy.
We dodged a bit of a bullet. I'm not gonna lie. I brought you up here only because I thought someone might be here.
Is that why there was a sad-looking daisy on your fridge?
She shoves she reaches by in like the coat closet and she shoves like a duffel bag in his arms. Wait in the hall. You never set foot in here again.
He tucks the daisy behind his ear and takes. He's like, "You want your hat bag? You want your hat box?"
Actually, funny you mention it. And she flips open the hat box lid and she aligns like a black. It's the like circle hat and it's got a black piece of lace right here. And then, just a moment, love.
Right, Mrs. Wallaby, you're looking lovely. Right, proper widow.
And she goes in and it only takes her like just a very brief amount of time, but she puts herself up. You know, she hasn't slept in 24 hours. But she puts herself together and she pins her hair back just perfectly prim, proper. She gets very dark shaded sunglasses. Wipes off almost all, like her makeup is like she wears makeup, but it's subtle. But not like she's gotten dressed up for this. Like she does look like she's tired still, but she looks incredibly put together. She looks fancy and fine as hell. And she steps into the hallway and
Jago's not there.
Bloody hell.
Jago's down at the car. He's somehow I'm standing there with a length of rope trying to tie a pair of skis to the top of the car.
Where did you get those?
Oh, look back. Well, we're going to Finland. You think this is oversized? You think this is oversized luggage?
She puts her luggage on top of his skis, expecting him to like tie it down.
Yeah, I start tying it down.
And she's in the passenger seat and she's just applying the makeup and then she closes it like, come on, Jago.
This is all in the middle of the night still, right?
Oh, it's like 9 a.m.
Yeah, it's in the morning.
Or it's like 11. Like I assume we're going right to the airport after this, so it's got to be
late. We have to check in 2 hours early, guys.
Yeah. Come on, Jago. We must go see my dear husband.
Give it one more good tight pull and we pull up to the airport. I think I'd like to flash forward to the ticketing counter where you've walked right past with your first class ticket. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I have got to be on this plane. Love, you got me a ticket too, right?
Oh, Jago, I thought you were flying with our luggage. And she just turns and walks onto the plane.
What have you got left?
We've got a center seat over the wing.
Right. I'll take it, I suppose.
Very good, sir.
And I pull out C's checkbook.
And his lighter.
Yeah, but do you remember what C's last name is?
C.
You just sign it Mr. C.
No, I pull out. What's the other guy's name? The other agent's name?
George.
Yeah, Super
George
Spy
Murray?
George. Yeah, I signed it George Murray.
Okay. All right. And she's like, very good. And, they're going to be closing the door pretty soon. You're going to want to go right through there.
Right. I need to drop off these skis to be checked.
And of course, we'll get those onto the plane right now.
Right. All right.
John LeCrae is very serious, gentlemen.
Right. And look, I'm just being prepared to go fight Finnish ski patrols. Like,
The Spy Love Me style.
Right. You didn't think that I would plan ahead for that, but Jago's always 3 steps ahead.
That's right.
In the wrong direction. So, which is really 4 steps behind.
Jago walks on the plane, and I'm sitting next to like a young bachelor.
Oh, God.
And I'm just like, oh, Mr. Mallaby always used to call me that too. And she's just like wrapping this little like sad sack around her finger.
And I'll lean in to I'll lean over like very awkwardly, like almost knock over your champagne flute and be like, she's got chlamydia. And I'll just walk back to my seat.
Wow.
All right.
Which I assume is between the 2 fattest men on the airplane too.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. It's uncomfortable.
Actually, it's a fat man and a goat. The goat has the window seat, probably.
Yes, and the crying baby has tilted its seat all the way back. So, yeah. So you board the flight and you make your way to Helsinki.
Would be nice if we could see their love.
Perfect. Give me 1 sec. I don't know why...
Europe is beautiful this time of year. We must be taking a night flight.
Can you see now?
Yes.
All right.
Is this Indiana Jones style? Is the little airplane going to fly?
Not quite like that, but you make your way to Helsinki. Put a little blanc there just to show where you've been. You come from London to Helsinki. Lovely. And you land, say it's late afternoon. So given that it's November and that far north, it's already getting pretty dark. And you are met... if I can find it here. Where did I put it? Here we go. So you arrive in Helsinki, and you are met by... Why am I having so much trouble?
Always fascinating. I assume this is a modern picture of Helsinki because it's fascinating that there's no like skyscrapers, like such culture.
I assume it's relatively. I mean, this is definitely a picture of Helsinki. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like, not even like off to the side or anything. Nice. Do you see? Yeah. So you're met by sort of a valet, Oliver Smythe. He meets you at the airport. He's from the embassy. Wink, wink. He also might be a clandestine operative, but he has diplomatic cover, and his official job is as an attaché at the embassy. And he's like, oh, Ms. Mallaby, so sorry for your loss. And, Mr. and Patrick, did you have a code name that he would have been
it's
given?
Just Gromit.
Gromit. Okay. And Mr. Gromit, again, sorry for this difficult time. And he's definitely in the know. He's not, he's not unaware of why you're here. But his thing is like, I'm here to aid you in whatever you need. If you need interpretation, I speak fluent Finnish, and I'm here to be your guide and get you around. I have a car outside. We can go to the embassy. We can go straight to where the unfortunate incident happened. We have an inn ready to go near that location.
Oh, I think I'm ready. I would like
just,
to go see
he
where
definitely knows you're not a widow.
But I don't know who's
you don't know who's watching,
right? Like, we're just in the middle of the airport?
Yes. Yeah.
I think I'm ready to see where. But before I see him.
You want to go to where
it happened, yes.
Where it happened. Okay. Yeah. So, he hops out, you hop in the car, gets the skis off of checked baggage. He's sort of looking at it and sort of ties it to the roof.
It's summer, right? Like
no, it's
November. Okay,
it's November, so it's very possible that there's snow on the ground. It's not that. And so
Does he drive?
Yes.
This makes Jago extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah. Now, do you say anything, or do you just?
No, Jago knows when it's time to behave, and he's very out of his depth. Like, he is a home countryside. Like, London is his base of operations, so he's a little out of his depth right now with the out of country assignment. I'm sure I've been on him before, but I'm definitely more at home on the streets of London. So
now, Veronica.
Yeah.
You had an operation in Finland go sideways.
I did have an operation with a love interest, yeah.
You're concerned that Gregory is here in Finland.
I think I am. I think that's constantly at the back of her mind.
And would he be here in Helsinki? And is that driving you at all to want to get out of the city quicker?
I mean, where else would he be, right? I mean, I don't think Jago knows this.
Mm-mm.
I don't think Jago knows about Gregory, and certainly Ambassador Smythe does not know either.
No.
Yeah, I think so. But she also knows it's a big city, but she also knows that Gregory probably would be in Helsinki.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think it's at the back of her mind.
Is Gregory Finnish? Is he what nationality is he? Or do you want to not get into it at all and just let it remain nebulous?
Gregory's British. Or Gregory's an American.
Oh.
Okay.
You had a little tryst with the Yank. Not that I know this.
He's a Finnish British American.
Fair enough.
Perfect.
No, he's an American.
Both of his fathers were English.
He's American.
Okay. He's American. Is he, quote unquote, is he in the game?
He was last time I saw him.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to, in your character sheet on the journal tab, just jot down that Gregory is part of the clandestine game, and he's an American.
Born handsome man. Born to...
Is he FBI, CIA,
Cecilia.
Secret Service?
He was what was in play in the 60s?
CIA.
CIA was
CIA, right?
Yeah.
And let's say this operation was an early Veronica operation, and she's kind of like worked herself up to be in this position. Like, she's a woman, she's had to battle out against all these men, and this almost like set her a million steps back, right? She was a female operative on a job that went sour. So that was 18 years ago. Is that too long? Maybe 12 years ago?
what CIA came about in like the end of the 40s.
Yeah.
Okay. We're in 63.
Yeah.
So 11 years ago. 10 years ago. We'll just make it an even 10. I don't know why. 10 years ago. Sideways operation.
Can I roll?
And it left whatever happened, which we don't need to reveal yet. Veronica and Gregory, like, it was a sour taste for everyone involved at the end of it.
Got it. Now, Patrick, you were asking, can you roll?
I was just going to ask, so I don't know any of this for Veronica. Can I roll like a human intelligence just to see if she's off?
Oh.
Yeah, so what? Yes, and so since we're about to roll, can I ask you to do me a favor?
Yes.
You know down in that folder where the macros are next to the numeric bar at the bottom?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Look for macros that say skill check V12, D100 roll V12.
So I can get rid of the old ones, right?
Get rid of the old ones because remember last time they didn't work?
Yeah, V12.
You want the ones that say V12 and they should be okay.
All right. And do we
They
have
are
V8?
great now.
I'm sorry, what's that, Matt?
Oh, it was a very bad joke. Don't.
Do you like the carrot or the tomato flavor?
I was thinking the engine.
Oh.
But that
two
also
very
works.
different conversations going on there.
Absolutely.
5, 4. Sorry, that's
Hello!
the bit.
How were we both singing the same thing at the same time? I was also
We're
thinking,
literally the same. We're literally the same people. It's fine.
So before Patrick rolls, what I'll say is Veronica is constantly checking herself in the mirror and adjusting like the veil and her little, I guess I wish I knew what that hat was called, but she's constantly fidgeting.
So you wanted
dead lady hat.
So I'm sorry, Patrick. So you wanted to see if you could tell that she was off a little bit, shaking a little bit?
Yeah, like see if it. I mean, I could probably tell, but like, is it? Oh, I have indigestion from the gefilte fish on the plane, or is it like, like just try and see if I can.
Yeah.
What the vibes are, right?
Assuming the macro works, why don't you roll insight modified by human?
Okay. Insight modified, augmented by human.
Augmented. There you go. Yeah.
Nope.
Failure.
Oh, that was so close.
Okay. Interesting. Why did let me just see something real quick. Oh, so I see. So the dice don't maybe work with the macro. Maybe that's it. Okay. Okay. So
I have my dice turned off because my computer would literally burn.
Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I also want you to, using the other one, D100 roll V12, I want you to do a hard roll, and we're rolling against your. Actually, you know what? Just roll your bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy with
and
a
we're
skill.
going to check for the hard difficulty level.
Difficulty hard bureaucracy. Damn.
Okay.
Ooh.
So now remember, you have a luck point that you can use to flip that.
Do I have 5 action points back? Or no, 3 luck points. Yeah, sure.
You should have 3 luck points. Yeah.
Let's do it. Sure. Why not?
Okay. You've heard of this. You've heard of something happening to Veronica in Finland. You don't. What I was going to say is. Give me one detail you've heard around the office. It's not a core detail. It's not like, oh, what happened was X. But just tell me one thing you've heard around the office about Veronica's past in Finland.
I don't think she went by Veronica in Finland. I think that's the only thing I knew is she went to Finland as somebody else and came back out Veronica.
Okay. And now, Matt, you don't have to tell us, but just decide for yourself if that's actually true or just rumor. But you don't have to tell us. So the eyebrows tell me things are about to get spicy. Okay. So that's sort of the thing you had heard about her time in Finland, and you are now traveling. Let's see if this actually works. I don't know if it's
This map is like, I think that you pulled it off of like an NSA site with how detailed it is.
No, I license a lot of my stuff. I don't see it on this map, but we're sort of heading up into these lake regions. And we're heading to a town. I don't know if I set the lighting.
Good luck pronouncing that.
Well, because I'm a prepper, I actually wrote down Jyväskylä. Jyväskylä is a small town northeast of Helsinki. There is a Jyväskylä airport nearby. That is where Elliot Taylor was walking from, and he was heading to an inn just off of the airport, in sort of like a little hamlet outside of Jyväskylä. And so you get there, it's nighttime. There's the airport, there's the inn that's outside of Jyväskylä. The police station is in Jyväskylä itself because that's sort of the bigger town in the local area. So what would you like to do? You can go to the inn, you can go to the police station, you can check in at the airport where you knew he was meeting a Captain Lanson. What would you like to do?
You want to split up, Matt?
Oh.
Because...
I do think Veronica does want to see the scene of the crime. just to scope it out. I don't know how much information is really going to be there or what she expects to see, but she does want to go there. I would not be upset if Jago wants to do something else first.
I think
but she would say like, I think we should meet with Captain Lanson together.
So that's what I was going to suggest is I'll ask Smythe. Right, Smythe, is our inflection point where he decided to become a hood ornament, is it past the airport? Can we swing by the airport on the way?
Of course, yeah. So do you want to go to the airport first? Or you want to?
Yeah, I think I'd like to go to the airport first and try and find like flight logs, details, and see if we can find Captain Lance.
Okay.
Chilling around somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, so you arrive at the airport and you go into the terminal. The terminal is not too big. It's relatively small, but it does have like a little sort of bar, and it has a couple of ticket agents. Yeah, it's later in the evening, so the last few flights, are still arriving, but there's not going to be too much more coming in tonight. But you wanted to find out if one of them involved Captain Lansing?
Yeah, because he's a commercial pilot, right? You said that?
Yes, yeah.
I think, is it just like one ticket booth? Like, is it just like Helsinki Air that flies a little commuter flight in and out here, or is it?
Yeah, let's say it would be, I don't know what the equivalent would be, but it's like a regional airport that in the United States would get you to Philadelphia, the hub, right, and then you go from there.
It's the Memphis airport of Finland.
Right. So in like, I grew up in upstate New York,
mm-hmm,
and so I can picture an airport like this in my little city of Binghamton, but I don't know. Memphis feels bigger.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
If it's got one runway, it's probably more like Jackson, Tennessee. That's what this airport reminds me of. The Jackson Airport.
So yeah, you make your way into the airport, and is this the right one? So yeah, let's say that there's a like I said, there's a pub in the airport.
Can't see it.
Right, it's night in this pub. It's night time in the pub. I guess Lecky hasn't made its way to Finland.
Nice. All right. So so you're at nope.
The airport bar. Excellent.
Yes, please. It's important. Okay, right. So you're at the airport bar, and some light snowfall is occurring outside. It's definitely dark, even though it's say like 7 p.m. And yeah, what do you? And Smythe is there, obviously, still with you. And he's like, you know what? Let me go. I'll check with the ticket booth and see if I can find out anything about Captain Lansing. And I'll be right back.
Can we get access to the runway, or should we wait here?
The runway itself, or the planes?
Like that's where he was hit, right?
No. He was
in
hit
a car accident. Sorry, he was not hit by a fucking.
I mean, he may have been hit by an airplane in the car.
Sir, you're not going to handle anything.
Second, never mind.
He got ran over by a plane.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he was walking on a small road between the airport and the inn that you're going to be staying at, and he got hit by a car.
He was mowed down by a Japanese Zero.
Right. So Smythe takes off, and he's going to go talk to the ticket counter. And, the bartender comes up to you and, sort of, gives a nod to you, Veronica, and, looks at Jago like, you seem like not her type, but yeah, and he sort of gauges based on how you're dressed that you might not be finished. So he goes in sort of a little, sort of his, roughened English, and asks if there's anything he can get for you.
Veronica answers in pretty solid Finnish.
Nice.
And she asks for a, do I have that?
No, but honestly, who cares at this point?
Well, I
don't want to break your game. Okay, maybe she orders in like passable. Like she's not an expert. since I don't have the skill, right? But I did spend time in Finland.
Yes, so you probably...
You know how to order your favorite drink in Finnish, probably.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit beyond that. But she's not like the obnoxious, like, you go out to like a Mexican restaurant, like the girl who took like 4 years of Spanish, right?
Me llamo
but she does.
Becky.
She orders a martini.
Nice.
She orders a Manhattan. I don't know. Is that fuck? I don't know. She orders a fucking gin and tonic. What the fuck am I talking?
Right. And Jago will look, and he'll try German because he is actually pretty fluent in German.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's the other business language at the time, right?
Yeah. So you try German, and he's like, and yeah, he can understand a little bit.
Would that be a professional skill? Sorry, would that be a professional skill for our languages?
It's a professional skill. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, got it.
And technically speaking, you have like advancement points that we're not spending. So you could, if I could remember how it worked, I think you have to spend like 3 to get a new skill I don't know if it was 3 or 5, but I could figure that out if you wanted to just add Finnish, because you've probably got a stockpile.
No, here's just before Patrick goes on. What it is she goes, I think I still remember a little bit, love. And so it's very broken Finnish then, instead of being fluent. I don't want to break anything. That's fine. I forgot that was actually like a thing we get stats in. So she'll order it, but it's sloppy.
Okay. And he's more than willing to let it go because, of course, you're so striking. So he's like, oh, your Finnish is, and you can tell he's kind of like complimenting your Finnish, and you're like, oh, okay.
He's not complimenting my Finnish. He's complimenting my beauty and the fact that I know a couple Finnish words still.
Yes,
your Finnish is so adequate. Mon chéri.
And do you just sort of retire to a table near a window, or do you engage the bartender? What would you guys like to do?
I think I will I'll cast a sidelong glance at Veronica. And if she start like leaning over the bar or anything, like, all right, she's got the bartender. I'll go walk around and ask other patrons.
Thank you for this.
Yeah. Okay.
I very much need this. I don't know if you heard of a young gentleman who tragically, I don't know if you heard, that was my husband. And she like skirts around the details a lot.
And sorry, Patrick, were you about to say something?
Jago's still waiting to place his order at the bar.
And yeah, it's almost like you're not even there.
Right. It's 100% how this always happens.
Yeah. And he's like, you can tell the bartender absolutely knows what you're talking about. And he makes a face in one direction, and then realizing, as you say, like, that was my husband, he sort of changes and is like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, miss.
So he knows, does she get the vibe he knows what she's talking about?
Yes, you get the vibe he knows what she's talking, and that his initial reaction was, he's changing his reaction to empathy and pity because you just said you're his widow, but
yeah,
that's not what he felt at first when he remembered.
Were you working that night?
And he's like, miss, I was, and
just here for closure. I'm just here for closure. What can you tell me?
And so he sort of looks sheepishly at you, and he's like, miss, that night he was waiting here for a while, and he had quite a lot to drink, and he was getting impatient, and I feel bad saying this because, he was quite rude. And then when, one of our pilots came in, they got into like a very loud argument, and they took it sort of outside of the bar, so I couldn't quite hear. Around closing time, I was closing up the bar and cleaning, and they were in a real shouting match. And I'm not sure what they were saying.
Do you remember anything at all? What they were saying?
No, just that he was talking with one of the captains of the that fly in and out of Captain Lansing, and they were having an argument.
I just don't understand what my husband would want with a captain. He sold drainage covers.
And he's like, madam, yes, I've never seen a patron get into an argument with one of the pilots here. I confess it was very strange, but I don't know what they were arguing about.
Well, thank you for your time.
And then with that, he sort of, oh, sir, did you want a drink?
Jago like had reached, at this point, he's reached behind the bar and like poured himself a local brew. And it's like, nah, I'll just take care of myself there, mate.
And, yeah.
Where do the pilots hang out there, love?
It's like, well, there's actually, they have like a changing room. But honestly, this airport's not that big. There's only a few flights that come and go every day.
There's three of them right behind you.
They're all concerned.
So
and
this
as
is
you're
a
saying,
10 foot by 10 foot, or I guess they wouldn't say feet, 10 meter by 10 meter airport. What do you think they hang out?
Right. Clever one, this one. Right. That's proper clever.
And so with that, Mr. Smythe comes back in and he's like, okay, so I was talking to the ticket booth, the ticket counter. And, they said that Captain Lansing, he's one of the pilots that does their daily run from here to Copenhagen. They do sort of 2 round trips daily. The new one's going to be the last one's going to be landing in about 30 minutes, and he'll be on that flight.
All right. Do you, Veronica will go back to the bartender. Say, or she wouldn't say. Jesus, she's fucking British.
My good man.
this captain my husband was arguing with, I would just love to speak. Does he usually stop in for a drink after?
Sometimes, yeah.
How many people are in the bar?
Honestly, like almost nobody. Maybe there's like one person that maybe is waiting for the flight to come in at the end, but it's really...
Would I see him? Would you be able to point him out to me? Would he walk by here before he leaves if he decides not to have a drink?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You'd point him out to me?
Absolutely.
Camera slowly pans over.
And she slightly, not over the line, she slightly caresses his hand a little. She pats it. Thank you, love. Listen, Jago, I want to be here when that flight lands, and I want to catch this captain's eye.
Right, who's Jago, love?
Well, I think it's just the two of us, right?
Yeah, let's say
and the bartender.
Well, no, I'm sure he...
Let's say he stepped aside. Smythe is there.
Right.
Smythe
knows who we are.
Yeah, Smythe's in.
I guess I should be a little more careful.
He said the code word, Beelzebub to us.
Okay. Look, when he lands, I want him to see nothing else but me. And that wasn't like she wants to be alone, but that's her plan. Like, I want to look striking, and I want him to come up to me when he lands.
And I'll look her up and down and like, right, you may want to make that dress a little bit more low cut then, love. And I'll
already prepared. And like the widower's dress, like she steps into the
shimmies.
Right. Like
shimmies
it's up. Still black and it's still like the same. It's conservative, but it's also like,
yeah,
it's hot conservative.
Right, that'll do. Sexy widow, gotcha. All right, that's right proper.
And she kind of scans the airport cautiously while the other two are maybe chatting.
So Jago will go. He's like, all right, so you're honeypotting him, all right? I'll just mosey over to the, the camera will pan over to like the only other door in the place that's like employees only, like locker room. I'm like, right, I'm gonna go through there. I'll be back.
Yeah, I see, because you have 30 minutes, right? Like, and like we can do whatever we want until then. I just want to be back before that plane, as that plane's landing. Or something.
And you want to go with me? You want Smithy there to distract the old bartender so he doesn't, I don't know, call the 5-0, the Finnish 5-0 on us.
what's the plan, Jago?
I just want to go in his locker, see what he's got.
I'll stay here and keep an eye on the bartender.
Right. And I'll doff my cap and move off that way.
Okay. So yeah, you go into the airport, and you go to and you notice it's locked. For some reason, I thought you could pick locks. Am I mistaken?
Yeah, that would be a thing that you would think that I could do. So
I'll pick locks.
Can
we retcon this? Should I come with you?
No.
Sleight includes picking locks.
Sleight does? Okay.
Yeah.
But I do have a 51 in lockpicking.
Oh shit! Did I make it its own thing?
You did.
Did I double it up?
So what I was going to do is I'll go over to the ticket booth.
Okay.
Because I might not be able to pick a lock, but I can pick a heart. Nobody's even looking. So I'll lean over. Is it a guy or a lady manning the ticket booth?
Let's say it's a woman.
Right, love. How are you today?
She's like, "Oh, sir, very good."
Right, and I'll pluck the daisy out from behind my ear that I took from Veronica's apartment. I don't think I've seen a single flower here in old Finland since we landed. This would make 2 flowers I've seen today. One here in front of me, and one that I'm going to give to you, my flower.
And she,
Have you ever had an English fling?
let me, I think that could be a human.
Yeah.
Or if there was a performance. I think I'm going to take lockpicking off of sleight. I think lockpicking should be done. Sleight involves like sleight of hand, palming things, cutting purses. But yeah, give me a human.
Human. You got it. Standard?
Yeah.
Right, love.
Nice. And yeah, so she, she can tell she blushes a little bit. She's trying to stay professional, but she's
tuck
flattered.
the daisy behind her ear. Right.
Yeah.
That looks quite nice, my sunshine. Right. How long are you before you've got your next break there, love?
She's like, well,
name's Gromit, by the way.
Gromit. She's like, oh, well, Mr. Gromit, we'll be, once the next flight comes in, we'll be closing up for the night. So I'll be shutting down pretty soon.
Right. When's that flight get here?
And she sort of looks at a schedule and she's like, oh, it's supposed to be landing in about 20 minutes or so.
Right. So you've got 20 minutes to kill. That's what I hear.
I only need 1.
Right. They call me Speedy Gonzales back in London. 45 seconds from a start. 0 to 60 in 4.5.
Next stop, disappointment.
You know much about cars, love?
And she's like, no, I don't.
I love cars. Have you ever heard of a V8? Comes in all sorts of flavors. Tomato, banana, plum, banana and plum, plums with bananas.
And she's like,
plum sans banana.
And so she's
and then
sort of
evergreen bush if you're really into that. Comes in all sorts of flavors there, love.
And she's like, sir, I don't know. Do you need a ticket?
I need a
This
ticket.
is a very sweet flower.
I need a ticket to paradise, love.
Perhaps 2.
Maybe 2. Have you heard of Margaritaville? Right, what I really need, and I'll leave you alone, love, is I have got to take the biggest shit you've ever heard in your life. And I really don't. I have a thing about shitting in public. And I really just... Can I have the key to the staff bathroom? I promise I'll clean up after myself. But, right, it's just... I try to butter up people because it's just really embarrassing. But I have had bubble guts from one end of Europe to the other today. And I just would really, really appreciate if I could let the old Hershey squirts out in the staff bathroom. Again, I will clean up after myself. And love, this is imperative. Otherwise, you're going to be having a code brown here in the lobby, and really, you don't want to hand wave a code brown. Like, this is
so glad we honor John Le Carre.
Rest in peace,
that's not
sir.
a complaint on my end at all.
Okay. Honestly, this is actually exactly how it goes in the book. No.
Yeah, page for page.
Did you guys read this? You
it's
fuckers.
It's almost uncanny.
I told you not to spoil it.
Yeah, so she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry you don't feel well. Here, look." And so she unlocks the door and she's like, the bathroom is just. And she's like, "I know what you mean. I have a really sloppy father-in-law."
Right, I was about to say something so little, so precious, could not be able to produce what I am about to commit war crime-wise in this bathroom, and I'll slam the door in her face.
Okay, and so you're inside and you turn around and you see maybe 3 or 4 lockers, and
I thought you were gonna say 3 or 4 pilots.
They're all taking shit.
They're all
right.
No, it's a couple of lockers. You see a couple of bathroom stalls.
Is there a bench or something in there?
Yeah, let's say in front of the lockers there's a bench, and you can sort of see names on the lockers.
That's going straight in front of the door. That's getting shoved under the door handle. Right, I don't need anybody sneaking in on me. Right.
Okay. So you jam it against the door.
Yep. Because I don't know with my skills if I'm going to be able to take care of this quietly. we may be using the old brute force method to get these lockers open.
Okay. And so you look, and the lockers themselves, like I said, there's only 2 or 3 lockers, and they're actually not locked.
Right.
You can see sort of names along the top, and you see one that says, Lansing.
I was about to see, that's Finnish gibberish. Right, Lansing. All right. Right.
That one has way too many consonants.
That one looks... Is that 7 J's in that letter? Jesus fucking Christ.
K. Then a Z.
Right, and I'll pop open Lansing's locker.
Yeah, and it's just a little satchel, a change of clothes, maybe some boots, because it is snowing. But it doesn't look crazy at all.
Okay, I'll put everything back the way I found it.
Okay,
I'll pop open the other lockers just to see if there's anything untoward.
And let's say one's empty, and one has the same kind of thing.
All right. Interesting. I'll feel under, I assume there's a shelf. I'll feel under the shelf in Lansing's locker to see if he's taped up anything, and knock for a false bottom. All spy shit that you would do.
Yeah. No. It all seems just like a change of clothes.
Right. This is the most fucking boring spy I've ever fucking dealt with. All right. Close the lockers up. And then I'll actually go to the bathroom and flush the toilet 5 or 6 times just to be convincing.
Yeah.
And I will, I'll put everything back where it should be and walk out. Immediately shut it behind me. And it's the 60s, so I'll light a cigarette.
Right.
And I'll walk by and I'll lean over and right, well, I don't know if I'll go in there for 25 minutes or so. If you need, I'll buy you a drink afterwards. After you're off, I might take you if you're interested. On a ride on the old magic carpet or something, right?
And you notice that she's having trouble looking you in the eye.
And I'll look down and there's toilet paper on my shoe. Right.
Hey, you gotta sell it. And she's like, "Oh, sir, thank you. Thank you for the flour. If there's anything you need, let me know. And then, but I need to start. I need to start closing up."
Right. Goodbye, my daisy. I'll saunter off back to the bar.
All right.
I'll look at Veronica and be like,
"What? Any luck in there?"
"Nah, fuck all, mate."
Yeah.
How about
as
you?
Far as we know, and as far as we know, Lansing is not an operative, right?
No, I think
you don't. Yeah, all you know is from the bartender for some reason. Elliot Taylor.
We know that he was meeting with them from our intel, and we know that we know that they got an argument.
Yes.
So is Smith still there with us?
Yes. Smythe doesn't leave your side.
Smythe.
Please, Smythe.
All right. Right. Pompous ass Smythe.
He's like done nothing to us, right?
No, I'm just
it's just like, fuck that guy.
You got that fucking uptown name, Smythe. Like, no, not really. I'll look at Veronica and be like, right, you want to do the Blue Flamingo? Right, you want that operation this time?
Sorry, hold on. I got my wife's out right now. I got to text her real quick. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
So,
ask your wife if we need to do the Blue Flamingo.
So you get to the bar and Smythe was like, any luck? You say no. And then he sort of checks his watch and, he says, if it was a 6 flusher above the table, let's say maybe 10 minutes have passed or something. So it's like, he's like, the plane should be landing any minute. I think, we shouldn't have to wait too much longer, assuming the weather holds. And so now, so you were wondering if the Blue Flamingo needed to occur.
Well, so we're doing a Blue Flamingo, like Miami.
Yes, but I believe you and Smythe Boy here need to be out of sight for it to work.
Right. A typical, a modified Blue Flamingo. Right. I got you. And
off you go, love.
Right. And I'll pull Smythe's coat and be like, right, love, let's make like a pair of trees and fuck off.
All right.
We'll go stand outside for a smoke break.
Okay. So you guys sort of step away. And so Veronica, you sit at the bar, a few minutes pass, and all of a sudden you hear as and you see like a twin prop plane land. They wheel the stairs outside. People walk across the tarmac into the terminal. And it's not a lot of people, maybe like 10, 15 people. The plane's not huge, but you figure given that it was still relatively empty. And you see walking out in the hall 2 people. One looks like the captain, one looks like the co-pilot. And the captain sort of walks in, sort of gives a wave to the co-pilot who heads to the locker. And the pilot, sort of saunters up to the bar. The bartender sort of gives him a nod and sort of pours something out, sort of like he's got a regular. And you can see that he's sort of nodding over to you.
Does he say anything to him, or does he just nod?
No, he just sort of, you can't really, they are talking a little bit, but you can't tell what they're saying, and he sort of nods over to you. Are you like in the corner in a booth or something?
Oh no, I'm wide out in the open. I want him to see me.
Okay, so maybe you're down the bar and he sort of like tilts his head. And so Captain Lanson, he sort of, takes his, whiskey neat and he sort of walks down to where you are in the bar and he's like, "Oh, miss, I heard I heard you're did you say you're the widow?"
He told him, huh?
Yeah, and he's like, is that what is that
So she straightens up all of a sudden, and Captain Lanson, I presume. This is not going the way that Veronica hoped it was going to go.
And he's like, yeah, I'm Captain Lanson.
Barbara Mallerby.
He's like, yeah, okay.
I believe you knew my husband.
And he sort of looks you up and down. And then he sort of looks back to the bartender who's sort of gone maybe into a back room. He's sort of, moving stuff around. And he just sort of turns to you and he goes, "Hey, let's cut the shit. All right? I'm not going to I already told, your dumb fucking dead friend, I'm not doing this anymore. So you can stop asking. I'm going to get killed if you keep asking me to do this shit. And I'm not doing it anymore. So I don't know why you're here."
Interesting. I want to grab his wrist and like slam his head down on the bar. Like the bartender's out of the room, right?
Yep.
I'm just gonna grab him. So like he's obviously okay. Yeah. I think she's gonna take a different tact with this. She's gonna try to strong arm him and not like slam his head, but like not give him a concussion. But she's gonna pin his head down against the bar while holding his wrist in like a position where she could snap it, or at least try to do that.
Okay. He's like, God damn, God fucking lady, get off of me.
Actually, Captain, I believe you are going to continue what you're doing. And as a matter of fact, I want to run through the numbers and I want you to tell me all of the details. Now, can I get you a drink? And she reaches behind the bar and she grabs the same beer that Jago grabbed before.
And, he sort of straightens. Are you still pinning him or do you let him up and he can straighten up?
Are we going to talk?
It's like, yeah. But I'm telling you, I'm not making any more flights.
All the details. I want to know the numbers. I want to know everything.
It's like, fine. It's like, look, about a month ago, your piece of shit friend, he tells me his name is Mallarby. I don't know what his real name is. Definitely not his real name. He tells me I've got to, somebody he knows goes back to the war. I owe him a favor. And they asked me to divert my commercial flight over Rostock, Germany, on my way to Copenhagen. Now, let me tell you something, and this was something I couldn't get your dumb fucking friend to figure out. Rostock is not in between here and Copenhagen. I can't just go and pretend to get lost over East Germany every time he needs a favor. And so I did it the first time, and he asked me to take pictures. I took the stupid fucking pictures. And then he said something about the pictures, and I had to do it a second time. The second time, I got to tell you, the second time, they're going to shoot me down if I have to go a third. I've got kids on these flights. I'm not taking commercial air flights over East Germany, pretending to get lost like I don't know what I'm doing every time you Brits need a favor.
She eases up on him a little bit. Captain Lanson, first off, you'll continue to do favors for Her Majesty at this time?
I think it would be Queen Elizabeth, yeah.
Yeah. For Her Majesty as often as she calls upon you. Second off, I want to know when's the last time you saw Mr. Mallarby?
It was the night he died. That's when I was telling him I'm not doing this anymore.
When, obviously, I know. We know that. Okay? Listen here. When? What happened?
It was the same thing. He, let's see, is there where... Yeah, you can see this if you want. So you guys are sort of watching this, and he's like,
look, are just faces up against the glass, like steaming off. Exactly.
And so he's like, it's exactly what you're doing here. He was waiting for me on my last flight because he tasked me on the return flight from Copenhagen to divert over Rostock, take pictures. And I got it. Like I told you, like, I felt like I heard radar warnings going up. Like they're not
pictures of what? First off, pictures of what?
I have no idea. Just some area outside of Rostock. He said,
what did
get
the
photos.
Area look like?
To me, it looked like farmland.
Where's your last roll of film?
I gave it to him.
So you gave it to him. You flew one more flight. Then you two got in an argument here, and then you two went for a stroll down the lane?
No, I gave him the last roll of film and tell him to fuck off. I'm not doing this anymore. And he took off. And he was.
Do you have any of
drunk.
the film left?
No, I gave it to him.
I would know if you're lying.
He's like, I told you I'm out. I don't need the film. I gave it to him. I did what he asked me to do. But seriously, like, there's no way I can make a third flight over Rostock without getting shot down.
Well, you could. You can. And if need be, you will. But I tell you what, why don't we get some fresh air and go for a little stroll and go visit our friend, Mr. Mallarby?
In the morgue? I don't know what you're talking about. He's dead.
No. Perhaps we should go visit his spirit.
Okay. So he's like, he sort of looks at you uncomfortably, but he knows he just got his ass kicked a little bit. So he, finishes his drink.
She whistles. That would have been a better whistle if I could actually whistle.
Well, I think when he is like getting flamboyant about, oh, you want to go like visit him in the morgue, like Jago would have probably like come in very quietly, and like there's definitely, can't remember, what do I have? Hold on. But there's definitely a fucking revolver at this guy's back right now.
Nice.
All right.
But he doesn't feel it yet.
No, I think go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna get real close to him, and when I say we're gonna go for a stroll, and I'm just gonna nudge him, like I get real close, like seductive, like, and then I'm just gonna give him a slight nudge, and that's when his back bumps into the nose of your revolver. If you're okay with that.
Oh yeah. I'll be like, I'll grab him by the shoulder like a friend. I'm like, right. I think that you've had enough to drink there, my friend. Why don't you go for a little bit of outside air? Be good for you. One Englishman to another, eh?
No, he's not English.
I thought he was.
No.
What is he?
He's Scandinavian.
Oh, right. From one red-blooded man to another. I think that you could use a little bit of gefilte fish out in the air, eh?
And Smythe is getting sweaty.
I'll backhand Smythe. No, just kidding. Pull yourself together, you bastard.
I shoot Smythe. I shoot him.
We Molotov cocktail
Shoot the
airport.
Bartender. Shoot the ticket agent.
I've decided to fly the airplane.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's hijack the airplane. Let's see if we can do a barrel roll.
Mr. President, there's been a second.
All right. So you sort of, Lanson, you lead him out of the airport. You go outside.
Smythe, be a love and bring the car around, would you?
No. Well, how about we tell him to Smythe? Love. Why don't you go take our bags to the inn? We're going to take a little stroll. Right? Because it's a pathway between the airport and the inn, right?
Yeah, it's a road. So, like, say the inn's like a mile away.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Mile and a half away. It is snowing a little bit. It is cold, but yeah. And you're sort of tracing the steps that Elliot Taylor took. Is that the idea?
That's the goal. Yep.
Okay.
So...
Say, Jago, did you know that Captain Lansing was a little bit of the amateur photographer?
Is he now? What's he take pictures of, love?
Did you know that Rostock, right? That's where he was.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is on the way to Copenhagen.
It's not on the way to Copenhagen.
Right.
That's.
And all like as we are we walking out
of course Jago would have no fucking idea.
No, Jago does. Like,
okay,
that's secretly like Jago will be like actually Jago doesn't, but as there's you're saying that as we walk past a giant map of Europe on the wall in the airport, and I'll like stop and I'll look at the wall and I'll be like, right, is it? Like I'll be like, you see the visible confusion for a moment. I'll be like, yeah.
But you see the East Germany piece.
Right.
Yeah, so there's Rostock. And of course, Copenhagen's up here somewhere. So, so it's close.
That looks a bit naughty there, doesn't it, love? Just a bit, a smidge naughty. What you been taking pictures of in East Germany? I hear they have wonderful picture shows in East Germany.
Apparently, he likes agriculture. Isn't that right, Captain Lansing?
You like to see fields plowed, do you? Deposit your seed in the ground, do you?
I don't understand.
Do you want to fuck dirt? That's fucking gross, you pervert.
So Captain Lanson's like, I just went to the coordinates I was told by Elliot Taylor.
Happening.
And I took I took aerial photographs of the coordinates that Elliot Taylor gave me. I don't give a shit what's there. I just
Captain, were you in the with the Air Force in the war? Is that how you got so good at taking pictures? Right, it's also dark as shit out here in the street that we're supposed to be looking at there.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Must be nighttime. Must be nighttime.
I'm watching through street. I see.
Yeah,
I watched through StreamYard or whatever. And
the sun's come back up. Lovely.
So yeah, it's nighttime. I know this picture's not night, but it's a snowy road. It's very rural, very isolated.
So, you took pictures during the war and you took pictures after the war? Is that what you do?
He's like, no, I'm a pilot. And I took pictures for Elliot Taylor.
All right. Well,
you just took pictures of fields. You never once asked what you were doing?
No.
And you never once noticed what you were taking a picture of?
No. I was just trying to get the pictures and get out of East German airspace.
Do you know where the runway is when you land, sir? Like, you took a picture in a plane and don't know what you took a picture of.
Like I said, there was a farm below. I didn't really get to look. I just sort of got to where I was. I sort of tilted the plane a little bit and then sort of clicked. It wasn't like I was trying to line up beautiful shots. I was just trying to get get out of there.
Is that why you had to do it twice? Because you just fucking shit at it.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't know why I had to do it twice, but I was asked to go back a second time. That time, like I said, I think I was getting lit up by radar.
Yeah, I'll shove the revolver a little bit deeper into his back. You got a lot of cheek for somebody who's got a fucking gun in his back.
He's like, I really don't understand what you're trying to get from me. I gave Elliot the film canisters and
You see, Captain Lanson, is what we're trying to get from you is answers because you are the last one to see my dearly departed husband alive.
She really fucking cares about her husband.
Oh.
He's like, he's not your husband.
I'll pull the hammer back when he says that.
He's like, look, I know that much. Like, I know he was a spy. I don't know, I don't know why he was asking me to take these pictures.
He was a dedicated, loyal family man. Now, you argued with him, and you two went for a stroll down this lane.
No, actually, above the table, that's not correct.
Yeah,
I know, but she's...
Okay, but yeah, he's like, no, I argued with him in the bar. I gave him the film canister and told him to go fuck off because I'm never doing this again. And then he left, and I finished my drink.
Well, you've got such great eyesight, maybe you can help us look around the area.
It's like...
Do you like dogs, Captain?
It's like, yeah, I guess so.
You know how dogs get on their paws and sniff around?
And he's like, I guess, yeah.
Answer the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, why don't you... How close did you say we are to where our good old departed bloke lost his life?
And he's like, I have no idea. I wasn't there.
Are we above the table? Are we like close? Do we know?
Yeah, you don't really know. You just, maybe, you know what? Let's do some rolls.
Sure.
This would be perception. Trying to think of something that could, maybe you could modify it with something like streetwise. You can modify it I'm trying to think of like a technical skill.
I'll do streetwise if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
That is a success, sir.
Okay.
There's like a single candle over in the...
Yeah. Let's say like what you see is some in the snow, you see like some tracks that haven't quite been snowed over, and you see into the tree line some broken branches.
Right. So we'll roll the clock back a second. Right, you like dogs, Captain?
And he's like, yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Right. You ever seen a dog sniff?
And yeah.
Right. You ever tried to play... You ever played charades there, Captain?
He's like, it's freezing outside. What are you getting
Have you ever played charades, Captain?
He's like, yeah, of course, yeah.
Right, act like a fucking dog and dig in the snow.
And he's looking at you.
Right fucking now, you fucking poff.
And so he goes and he starts like unsure of how to do it, just kind of awing it. And he's like, I don't know what you...
If you were my fucking dog, I'd shoot you in the fucking head right now. If you don't act like a fucking dog and dig like you fucking mean it, I will blow your fucking skull wide open. You understand me, you fucking animal?
All right. So yeah, he just starts doing it. Sort of aimlessly.
Right, Veronica, while he's doing that, we need to look for something more important.
What's that?
I don't know. We're here looking at. You want to clairvoyance or something with his spirit? You said. I don't know. I'm a fucking London dog. I don't know. I'm being let out the leash right now, love.
So Veronica will start just looking around. I guess. I mean, it's snowed over. I get it.
Yeah.
Is there anything? She pulls out a torch. She's looking around.
Yeah, so, if you go over to, like I said, you saw the one track that's not quite snowed over, you look over at the branches, and, yeah, you can see, there's some blood on some of the broken branches.
A crash took place here, so there'd be something.
Right.
Well, yeah, he was hit by a car, so maybe, buried in this...
Yeah, but, there's still going to be some...
A headlight
I'm assuming
fragment.
the car... did the car crash into a tree or something, or was it a hit and run?
It seems more like a hit and run.
Okay.
Captain Lansing is still digging like a dog in the snow to find anything.
Right.
I'm not gonna do that.
Jago, what do you see?
Right.
And they're looking around. There's no blind spot. Is this? Other than is it a winding road or is it?
Looks pretty
kind of wide open.
It's pretty straight and pretty wide open on the sides of the road.
So while Captain's digging, I'll be standing off to the side. Right, Captain, how many times do you fly into Russian airspace on your flights?
He's like Russian. I just do the daily run from I forget how to pronounce the town to Copenhagen.
Right, that's not what I fucking asked you, you fucking puff. How often do you fly into Russian airspace?
Never.
Right, and how often have you chosen to fly into Russian airspace?
Okay. He's like, wait. Well, I flew over East Germany, but I didn't choose to do that.
Well, you have fucking free will, don't you? You're not a fucking dog. Present company considered. I assume that you chose to fly over East Germany. Did you make any other stops on your way back to Hoga Smoga Dogan? Right, will you?
He's like, no. Let me see. It's Yavaskala.
Yavaskala. You make any extra stops on the way back to Yavaskala?
No, I didn't have the fuel.
Right. Did you talk to anybody on the radio when you were over East Germany?
No.
You seem very confident in all these answers.
Because literally all I did was I was told to take some pictures. I took the pictures. I handed off the film canister.
I'll look at Veronica and I'll be like, Veronica, love.
She's just been standing, listening to them talk and just looking around, looking at everything, looking at both. And she kind of points down one side of the lane, then the other side of the lane. And then, Captain, what was my husband wearing that night?
And he sort of looks at you like, okay, we're still doing this. And he was like, he wasn't dressed right. It was cold. He should have had a coat. He was supposed to take a car home. He was pissed and drunk and decided.
Saw him leave. So he was drunk.
Yeah.
What was he wearing?
Just like a suit.
What color suit, man? Good God.
Like a
it's
dark gray.
1963. Everyone wears a fucking suit.
Like a dark gray suit.
Right. Question for you, just bouncing off for what my partner here said. I'm sorry, what my employer here said. Did you actually see him drink anything?
We had a drink while we argued.
Right. One drink is not many drinks, my friend. And if he's a proper British lad, he can hold his drink. So
yeah,
one.
That's what I saw. I don't know what he was doing before I got into an argument with him.
Was there anybody else at the bar that night? And I'm sorry, I didn't tell you to fucking quit digging.
And he's like, I can't remember. There might have been other passengers that had just gotten off. I can't remember.
You got the passenger manifest you could get us there for that flight that day?
Yeah, maybe it's, back at the terminal.
Right. Okay. Any strange pickups in Copenhagen that day?
I don't really interact much with the passengers, so I just...
Right, that's a terrible fucking answer.
So, yeah.
You got eyes, don't you?
As I again, like I said, in that particular flight, there was like a class trip involving children that were on their way back.
Were any of the children suspicious?
Aren't they all? No, it's just a class trip. I really don't understand what's going on here. And you see down the road, like headlights, off in the distance, like there's a car coming.
I'll look at Veronica, like with a really knowing look, and I'll do a little up head nod.
What are you implying?
Oh no, my friend, this is role playing. I'm going to let you decide how this goes.
Okay, so she doesn't care about the headlights. She hasn't got all the answers she wants. And, Captain Lanson, was it snowing that night? Or was this snow after?
There was some snow that night, yes.
Some snow. Heavy snow? Blizzard?
No.
Light snow?
Yes.
Was there snow on the ground?
Yeah, there was some.
And you flew in that night, correct?
Yes.
How was the cloud cover? Was there a full moon?
Yes. Let's say it was a pretty good night.
Clear night, full moon, light snow.
Yes.
Much like tonight.
Yes.
Interesting. Captain Lanson, I want you to stand right here. I don't want you to move. Romit's watching, and I want us to step in the snow, and I want him to stand where we approximate Mr. Mallerby would have been struck. And I want to see what happens when this car passes.
Okay, so you want... is the captain standing where...
The captain is standing where we guess that Mallerby
got hit.
Okay. And I'm going to call from him to the trees and be like, here's the thing, Captain Lanson. It's most peculiar to me that on this wide open road, on a clear night with a full moon and light snow, although my dearly departed was wearing a dark suit, with a full moon, that he was struck by a car coming his direction. Now, if it were me, and I was a safe individual walking against traffic, I wouldn't think I'd be hit. But maybe there's something the drivers can't see. So how about you stand there and let's find out what happens?
Jago will say, right, I like this plan. If you fucking move an inch, I'll blow your fucking skull off.
All right. And so he just sort of stands there nervously. You guys are in the tree lines at a sight. And the car... the car sort of approaches and then slows down and sort of swerves a little bit out of the way. And in the sort of light of the moon, you can see that there's two men in the front seat of the car, a driver and a passenger. And the car sort of slows down. You see the men sort of turn and look at the captain, and then they speed off. And you could have swore the driver was Gregory. And we'll fade to black.
Good.
Damn.
Good.
But that doesn't mean shit to Jago.
No.
So Jago just see this car slow down, swerve, and then speed off. But would Gregory have seen me?
You don't think so?
No, we were off.
But Jago wouldn't. Jago just think the car slowed down and then sped off, right?
Yeah.
Right. They definitely were looking at Captain Lanson and then took off.
They took off, and then Jago's looking at me, and I am like, ooh, you know what she does? Before we fade to black, we see his face. She kind of runs out from the tree and then stops in the road. Like she blows it for a little bit. Like she lets way too much out.
And then they gun it. So does he see you?
No. He guns it. He runs out. She runs out. Got it already starts to speed up. Like it slows down. It's in the headlights. He guns it, and that's when I see the profile view of what I think is Gregory, and then I run from the trees. And I and obviously reveal way too much information. Like I know what's going on, but Jago wouldn't know who the fuck that was.
All right.
I see you. I see you running out. I need a die roll. I'm gonna roll a die for a second. We may have something happen before.
You fade to black when we say you fade to black, motherfucker. We're too invested now.
Jago shoots the captain because you break your cool and run out, and like Jago loses it for a second too. And Jago's like, yeah, maybe we don't know what happens, but I'm gonna pull the trigger as we fade to black.
Yeah, okay. Car speeds off. I see the profile view. Veronica stumbles in the snow, and as she turns to face the car that's driving down the lane, we hear a gunshot.
Yeah.
Nice. And so the gunshot, and then as soon as the gunshot goes off, you see the brake lights on the car light up, but then it takes off like double speed.
Excellent.
And then we'll fade to black there. All right. So I want to ask you guys a question. Like, I don't know if I'm very good at running investigation games as much as I like them. When I let you guys go because I don't know what's fun and what it'll lead to. Do you feel like do you sit there and go like, Jesus Christ, can we just keep moving? And I'm not pushing you guys?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to be pushed. Like, I know.
Right. That's what I'm trying not to. Yeah.
Like, I know you didn't want to do the flat scene, but it would have also been hilarious if the guy was there, and that's fine. I'm fine with, like, I get, like, sometimes, yes, an investigative game, I want to go.
Right.
But also, I like slow burns.
Yeah,
I love the idea of this scene. Right. So, like, the good thing about, like, a good Scandinavian mystery, like, Scandinavian mystery books are dark, and setting is so important. When you put us on this fucking road, the whole time, I'm just picturing Veronica just, like, looking both ways while Jago's holding a fucking gun. It's fucking still. You could hear a fucking snowflake fall, and it's just cold,
you hear the captain digging,
and it's like, it's dark, it's cold, like the setting matters, and that works in a fucking slow burn. And I was so into that fucking scene. I fucking loved it.
No, that was great.
Okay, I would have been sad if you had pushed us out of that scene. I was just in it. It's one of the, like, most times I've ever been in a scene because I could just see Veronica, like, there and just, like, trying to piece the puzzles together because where she stood made no fucking sense.
Right. And I'm going full Shining. Like, this guy's gonna fucking dig and bark like a dog because, Jago's got a couple screws loose. Like, if you haven't noticed at this point, like, but Okay, good. Because what I was nervous was that you guys were coming up with stuff because I wasn't filling in the time, so to speak. So you're just like, fucking, okay. This is cool. No, this is great. This is good beats.
Like, we get to the airport, we talk to the bartender. Patrick goes and investigates the locker room. We talk to the captain. We walk with the captain. We get here. And, like, if we had been digging for 30 minutes with nothing, like, that was really well paced. I think that whole scene was well paced. If you're like, no, you don't find anything, do you want to keep digging? Like, that's that's not good. Yeah. But I legitimately.
Okay. It's really okay to say it sucked ass because I don't always know what I'm doing with these and when I should push. And
this is great. It's again, the pacing is I think of it like a movie. I always compare stuff to a movie. Like, you're not gonna spend 30 minutes digging in the fucking snow making this guy bark. You're gonna like, oh, okay, we've been doing that with a black screen, like. But the important parts is like, okay, we've been doing this for a minute. Yeah, we didn't find anything cool. The guy's being humiliated and whatever. And this car shows up. Like, of course, Veronica's going to make him stand in the street and get run over. Like,
right.
It's, again, we're not the most completely together, hinged people they could have sent to Finland. Like,
Yeah, I don't. It always takes a little bit, I think, to find your character.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I know I wanted Veronica to be this really confident, badass, femme fatale, and maybe that's what she has in her mind, but clearly she's maybe not. Like, I mean, she is, but also she's a little like, she's just a different fucked up form of Jago, right? Like,
right.
Jago's got screws loose, but Veronica's not all right.
Like, and Jago can keep it together when he's somewhere that he knows, like where, like his.
Now you just fired your fucking gun,
right? And now we're in a different country, and like Jago's obviously on pins and needles, and like doesn't know what else to lean on besides his Billy the Butcher personality, like, you know. So it's again, there's a reason Jago doesn't get let out much. So yeah, and I think that we're gonna dive into that.
All right. Well, I appreciate it because again, because I what I don't want to happen is I don't want you guys to get frustrated and you're coming up with stuff to do just because I'm not.
No,
we're gonna find unique ways to fuck this up beyond all reason. Like, and it's not gonna be anything that you do. Like, you're gonna have like, oh, here's the 4 plot points that need to happen in Finland, and we're gonna go fucking like be refrigerator salesmen in Finland. Like,
and you also gave us the option to go here.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like you force this onto this little lane. But
right. I tried to present some places you could try.
Yeah. Right. Which is like, we're going to go where we want to go. So the play, and like, Patrick, you may feel, because I kind of said like, oh, I want to go here, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I at least wanted to go here. So it's an interesting location.
No, and I definitely wanted to go here too, just to see if we could find any clues. But I wanted to try and catch, because I knew that the last thread that we had available to us was the captain. Like, I'm like, okay, he's the last one that saw him alive. We need to talk to the captain. Like, that needs to be priority number 1. And then we need to go visit the crime scene, like any good Sherlock Holmes or whatever. Like,
right.
We're gonna talk to the last person that saw him. We're gonna go to the last place he was, and we're gonna fuck up shit along the way. Like, and
I just want to make sure it was. Hopefully, I made it obvious enough that the blood on the tree branches that were broken. That was where he hit when he. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. That sort of came through.
Are you saying that that's not just like bear scat on the trees?
Exactly.
Fuck. God damn it! That was a clue.
All right. Well, with that, we will wrap this up. I appreciate it, guys, and I appreciate that feedback because, like I said, I'm not always quite sure when I should be pushing and pulling. But
in the grand scheme of investigation games that we've run, which really we've only run 2. We ran this and we ran Call of Cthulhu. I am having so much more fun with this. Like, and I had a ton of fun with Cthulhu. So please, that's major props to you, Art. This has been great.
I had a good time with Cthulhu as well. But all right, well, I guess if we're all done giving each other a shine.
No, we can keep circle jerking. Like,
yeah. This has been Black Lodge Trivia Night. Thanks for checking this out. If you're watching this, you've already found our YouTube channel, so like and subscribe. If you prefer audio versions of this, just search for us wherever you get your podcasts. We should show up. And most importantly, if you want to come hang out, you want to talk stuff about RPGs, CRPGs, jump into the Discord. The invite link should be in the notes below. So yeah, we'll be back soon. We're doing right now this. We're going to sort of hopefully get this going to the end. And Matt's picking up Symbaroum. So that's the 2 things we have going on right now.
Waiting in the wings is the rambling, is the
right.
the dead wake of Deadlands.
Deadlands, yeah. So very nice. So thanks everybody who checked this out, and we'll be back with more pretty soon. Have a good night.
Peace.
The in-session music was provided by Tabletop RPG Music and composed by Ian Fisher. You can find the Patreon at www.patreon.com/tabletop RPG music. That's all one word.